Good morning, hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Chrissy and today I'm going to be giving a prediction reading for the 10th of July. Now, if you have just tapped on my channel, I talk pretty much about the global current energies. I also talk a lot on here about the Great Awakening process that is currently happening on a very large scale. So I'll close my eyes, we'll get started and we'll see what comes up. I'm getting that the government is trying to re-herd people. Well, I call it on my channel cattle because I relate it to a lot of the cattle yards, how they try to fence cattle in and close the gates. I talk about that a lot on my channel. But the government, parliamentary leaders, all the people that are in charge of this big reset agenda, they're trying to re-herd people. They're trying to contain people again. Now, they're doing that. We always know they're doing it through fear because that's the biggest one. Of course, we've got the, I think is it the BA5 strain? I talked about it yesterday. That's scarier, worse than ever. It's causing all these terrible side effects like myocarditis, all the things that they're now blaming CV for, which we know it was pretty much caused by the side effects of the jab. But this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to corral and they're trying to round everybody up. They're sort of showing me like, some of the visuals, honestly, these guides give me. Bear with me if you're new to my channel because you'll get used to it. They're showing me all these global leaders like on their horses. I don't know if any of you out there have watched Yellowstone or any sort of cowboy movie like that. And they herd up the cattle. Some use helicopters, we know that. But they're showing me all these leaders on their horses and they're like trying to be these real like horsemen that are rounding up the cattle. So we've got Anthony Albanese, we've got Trudeau on a horse, we've got Macron. God, well, Boris Johnson fell off his horse, we know that. But all the others are trying to round up the cattle again. And again, they're doing this by stealth. That's a change, isn't it? Doing everything under the radar so nobody can see it. So this is what I'm currently getting. They're trying to herd back the cattle. So they're trying to round people back up and get them back into that narrative. Because when people are dispersed, I guess is the word that you would use, it's harder to coerce them and manipulate them. And well, we know they did the mass psychosis on them, but it's harder to manipulate people when they're not in big groups. Because they can't get the information out to them. Because I can tell you now that what I mean by this is that a lot of people are now turning off mainstream media. A lot of people are getting pissed off and angry and they're running, I said the other day, they're running away from government. So they're trying to get away, but their government's trying to herd people back into the narrative. This is the narrative of the virus. It's just never ending, isn't it? So they're trying to distract them again and get them all together so they can just hit them with this big virus. 3 years on? I don't think so. It's not going to happen. They're struggling, but they're showing me them on the horses like running around, whipping their whips. Oh, God. Imagine that visual, Trudeau and Albanese and Jacinda Ardern on their horses in their... I'm seeing these like Aussie cowboy hats and things. Oh, honestly, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? But they're trying to get them into one area because it's easier to implement their agenda. And we know that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to brainwash people. But see what's happening, because they're rolling everything out like well, now it's really hitting the farmers. We know in the Netherlands, they're all standing up like it's absolutely brilliant. God, Sri Lanka, how's Sri Lanka? They stormed their parliament and the parliamentary leader had to resign. How good is that? I just love these things when they start happening. But this is why they're trying to herd everybody in again. It's that they've got to get them into one space so they can try and gain this like control of the masses. But we know that's never going to work because people have broken free of that. I said the cattle gate was propped open and everybody's just roaming free on the hills like the free-ranging cattle. Not us. We're still watching all this from afar, probably sitting up on the mountain having our picnic, sipping our red wines and eating our cheese and bickies and just watching the show unfold. And we always have our popcorn just at the ready for the next show that's going to arrive. So this is what's currently happening. They're showing me these global leaders are sort of, I said the other day, they were like circling like sharks ready to pounce. But see, what happens is they bring things out, and then it causes that fight back and kick back from people. So then they have to do their, what do you call it? It's, oh God, I should know. I live in Australia. Oh God, mustering. They're mustering. Oh my gosh, I'm clueless. I live in the country. They're mustering now, so they're trying to muster the cattle and bring them back together because they're losing control. Yay! That's what we want. That's what we want here on my channel. We want governments losing control of the people because then people wake up. Yay! I'll see what else we get today. I just can't get that image of Anthony Albanese and all that on a horse mustering cattle. Oh. And it's showing me like, I'm getting the word the grid, which the grid is like around, if we think of the grid, I'm thinking of the electrical grid and the renewables and all the things they're starting to implement. So this is kind of the imagery that they're giving me today, but I'm actually getting like the connection to the cattle grid. So if anyone's lived in the country, to stop your cattle and your sheep and your horses from leaving the yard, where the cars drive in, often they don't have gates. They'll just have a thing called a cattle grid. I know most of you would know what these are, especially in Canada and America. We all have cattle grids, and the cattle and the sheep won't go over them. But now they're actually showing me that the cattle and the sheep have learnt to jump, which is the people waking up, and they're jumping. They're even jumping the cattle grids. So this is about the also crossing over into that rolling out of the electrical systems and that. And I know you, Chris, out there, you're really into the being off grid, and this is what people are doing. They're getting off grid. It's showing me them jumping that hurdle, and people are setting up their own solar systems, and they're escaping the electrical like expenses and madness, and they're starting to separate themselves from all the BS. And this is the people waking up, not just you guys watching my channel. This is a lot of people, because they're fighting back. That's their way of fighting back against government, is to, I know this is a complicated one, but I know you get it. If you watch my channel, you kind of piece these things together with me as well. They're the cattle that are roaming free and have escaped the cattle yard, that they're trying to round up, thinking they're contained in their big cattle yard and big paddocks, aren't, because they're now jumping the grid. So they're exiting. They've found ways, the sheep and the cattle have found ways to jump over the grids, and they're running off into the distance. And that's the people waking up. We need them to run off into the distance, like I said the other day, away from government and the dictators and the things that they're trying to implement and push onto people. Well, they're not having a bar of it. I would say 3/4 of these people are running away from it, and they don't want to be around when all the crap hits the fan, meaning the cost of electricity and everything goes up, because we know they're deleting gas. They're deleting gas in a lot of the new homes in Victoria here. I'm sure this is a global thing. This has already been happening in the new estates. I think it's even happened here in Canberra, the capital city, where the parliamentary leaders live. Gas has been getting eliminated from new builds for a long time. So all these things that no one's being told, of course. So we've got these people who have now waking up, have jumped the grid, and they're off. They're going in the opposite direction, and this is brilliant, because that's their way of protesting. They might not all stand up and protest with flags and things like we were, and the farmers are doing, and the truckers did. People have their own little ways of protesting that feel safe to them. So I'm definitely getting that today. We'll see what else we get today. Gosh, I'm getting this building of bridges. I'm just, they're showing me people building bridges. And look, that could be, I think that could actually relate to us building bridges with each other. I know here on my channel, we've created a place called Terrabella, which is a place that we can go. It's out in nature. We've decided to find some peace and calm in our life, and that's something that we all share. So we're kind of, it's like we've all built bridges to each other. So that's what the guides are kind of showing me. And now the people waking up are wanting to kind of build bridges to other people as well. Because it's the bridges that connect. They're showing me like people making like Lego bridges, but these are like, it's just a visual, and they're piecing it together from different ends. It would be like, for example, me and Catherine here, or me and Shirley, me and Lou, me and Louise, Dan, Martin, we've all built these bridges. There's so many of us out there that have built these bridges, and we're connecting and we're finishing off the bridges, and we're all like connected now because we're connected across the globe. You think about it, we've bridged that gap. We've lost people in our lives, we've lost family and friends, but we've managed to bridge a gap of water. This is just an analogy. And we've been able to communicate with people who think like us, feel like us, are going through the same experiences as us, and it's given us that strength and support. So that's why I'm getting the bridge connecting. These people who are waking up are now starting to want to build their bridges and connect with other people who are at their levels. So for example, it might be somebody this is just an example, who's like double jabbed, still lost their jobs because they're not mandated for the third shot, don't want to get it because they had a side effect, and now they're having to connect with people who have been through that same sort of scenario, or people like us who understand their plight and their journey. These people that are waking up are trying to also build their bridges to other people going through the same experience so they don't feel so isolated. I'm definitely getting that about the building of the bridges. There's lots of this connecting happening globally, as we know, all you guys out there. I'll just see if there's any closing messages today. Yep. People are standing up. People are standing up against government. Oh. People can feel that their like religious beliefs are being taken from them. Oh. They can feel that their core beliefs are being taken from them. So the things that they believe. And when I talk about spirituality on this channel, I just mean your inner followings. It doesn't matter what you follow or what you believe in, but people can feel that these things are being taken from them, and that they are being controlled, manipulated, and dictated to. Well, we know that's happening. We're definitely getting that today. People want to feel stronger. People are tired of being downtrodden. They feel like they're being... this is weird, but they feel like they're being, not us if you're watching my channel, but these people waking up feel like they're being used, manipulated, coerced, and it's now, it's like it's rubbing up against them, but they're pushing it off now. They don't want it anymore. It's like it's making them feel uncomfortable, and that's what we need these people to feel waking up. We need them to feel uncomfortable because they need to know what is going on, and they need to start finding these truths out and realizing that something isn't right. And the fact that the guides are showing me a lot of these people waking up are pushing these things away that are being implemented. And I don't just mean around the jab. This is around electricity, people losing their jobs, like I said, with coal mines closing down here. There's all these things happening. There's a lot of things shutting down, people losing more of their jobs and livelihoods, small businesses going under as they increase, as government says to increase wages. Now no one can afford to pay people. The fuel costs have gone up. Freight deliveries are through the roof. People have to add that on to all their business costs. So they're pushing these things away. It's happening. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Stay strong, everybody. Keep enjoying Terabella. It sounds like you guys are having an incredible life out there, making the most of every minute, as we all are now here in Terabella. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, what's left of it. I will say goodbye from Australia. I might come on and make another one this afternoon, so look out for that. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the like buttons too if you haven't, and a bell notification to let you know when I pop up. Take care, everyone, and I'll say goodbye from Australia. Bye.